What's up, guys? Iceman here. Welcome to Meditations. So, yeah, I've been purchasing $5 worth of Bitcoin every single day. Now, Iceman, why would you do that? Thought you talked shit about crypto in the past, and yes, I have. There's things I didn't like about crypto. It doesn't have any intrinsic value. It requires power to even exist. And there was something else as well. I can't quite remember what it was at this point, but nonetheless, I mean, yeah, the same can be said about the US dollar. All right. It doesn't have any intrinsic value. It's no longer backed by gold. They print the hell out of it. And that's that. So compared to cryptocurrency, well, the US dollar has the government backing it, the Federal Reserve. But yeah, the problem is a lot of countries are trying to get out of it. Look into the BRICS currencies. They're trying to make their own currency, these other countries, and then get rid of the US dollar. Now, what's going to happen when there are trillions and trillions of US dollars that come back to the United States? And the rest of the world does not want them, when the rest of the world is making all of our goods that we're buying with US dollars. Well, they're not going to sell us the damn goods anymore for US dollars. And we're going to have trillions of them more back here. So what does that do? It causes hyperinflation. Yeah, basically, we're going to be effed. All right. Greater inflation than the world's ever seen. Over here, anyway. Now, you can't really blame them for trying to do that, right? I mean, the Federal Reserve, who's a private bank? You know, I didn't know this shit before, but I mean, it's not even owned by the U.S. government. It's a private entity where they outsourced their currency to. It's fucked up, man. All right, and they're the ones regulating. That's why, like, for example, the president can't tell the Federal Reserve to raise or lower interest rates. They just fucking do it. They evaluate the world and everything else, and they'll raise it and lower it accordingly. And then they'll print trillions and trillions of more, whatever the hell they want. It's crazy. So you can't really blame the rest of the world for being like, that's interesting. So the US dollar is the world reserve currency that we all base our currencies off of. And, the U.S., or not the U.S., but the Federal Reserve, who owned the U.S., the U.S. is a corporation. It's fucking crazy, man. Look into it. So the Federal Reserve, who owns the U.S., prints all these damn things, and then they probably contribute to the military-industrial complex. They keep funding all this bullshit. All these wars and all this other shit, and they keep devaluing the currency. Come on, man. You know, obviously they're going to want to get out of it. That's probably what they're trying to do. Federal Reserve is probably owned by some enemy or something who wants the U.S. to go down. But with that being said, it just kind of makes me speculate. Now, I know I've bought gold and silver, and in fact, I've sold some gold. I sold 3 ounces of gold over the past couple months for about $2,500, $2,600 a coin. I profited about $900 a coin or something. I bought them around $1,800, $1,900. Maybe I sold for $2,700. I can't remember. Somewhere in there. I profited $800 to $900 a coin. Now, I bought the gold because the world values gold. It's used in technology. It's used in medicine. The silver is. You see what I'm saying? So gold and silver has had value ever since the beginning of fucking time. It's malleable. It's divisible by a lot, because it's liquid when you melt it and all that, especially gold. So that's why it was utilized for that stuff, and for currencies in particular. But with Bitcoin, the interesting thing is, yeah, it doesn't have any intrinsic value. You can't make shit with it, you know? But what's interesting about it is how it has a cap of 21 million. Only 21 million Bitcoins can exist, so we're all just buying little shares in them. Some folks buy whole Bitcoins, but it's at about $105,000 right now per coin. So they buy little shares in them. And it can be divisible, boom, 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 boom. You can just keep dividing that shit. And then the individual shares, 21 million shares, they just become more and more valuable as people keep buying the shares and dividing them up and buying those shares and shit like that. And what's interesting is the rest of the world can buy this. This is something that they can all buy. It can't be inflated like the US dollar. All right. So in a sense, it has value because the people are putting value in it. And they're like, okay, fuck it. We don't want to rely on these private bank entities who print the hell out of the currencies. You know? This is why I started to think otherwise of Bitcoin. Like, okay. I mean, it's true. Yeah, I could buy the gold and it just kind of sits there. But the thing is, they could mine more gold. Some folks say that some countries have gold reserves that we don't even know about. And at any time, they could just start saturating the market with it and destroy the price of gold, you know? I mean, who knows? It could be true. Some folks say that there's like these underground silos and shit that could like tank the price of gold when they start putting it into the economy. They could just keep doing that. And then that's how they can manipulate it. They'll tank it, people will sell it, and then they'll buy it all up, and then they'll hold it, and then we're fucked. You see what I'm saying? They can just do it again. But what's interesting is with this Bitcoin thing, they can't do that. So what I did is I'm buying $5 of Bitcoin a day. I have a reoccurring schedule that just buys that shit, $5 a day. And what I did before that is I bought about $4,000 of it. Now, this was when it was about $99,000 a coin. And yeah, I was pretty fucking late in the game. And I just, what do you call it when I just mass sum bought it? For my standards anyway. I bought like 1,000 here, then I bought 1,500, then I bought another 1,000, and I just started buying like 100 every couple hours or something. I was just freaking out, man. I thought that shit was just going to keep going up. And it kind of did. I mean, yeah, it's higher than when I bought it at. My average purchase cost is about $99,000 something. But I'm going to keep buying that shit every day. I don't give a fuck if it goes down or up. $5 a day, boom, 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 boom. And I'm going to hold that shit no matter what. Never sell at a loss. That's kind of what I intend to do. But I mean, it just seems like, according to my speculation, there's a high possibility that this thing could just keep going up. You're already seeing some index funds are buying it, or some big companies are buying some of it as a reserve. Oh, Iceman, what about the government buying it as the treasury? They shouldn't do that, Iceman. It's not worth anything. Well, there's the US dollar, and everybody wants to get out of it. So you know what? It sounds like a good idea to me. Here's why I think the U.S. government might buy some Bitcoin as part of their treasury. All right. I already said, yeah, they have some gold. But the problem is, you don't know how much gold the rest of the world, these motherfuckers are hiding it, man. All right. You got Big Red Dragon Country. You got the other one. I mean, some of the, you never know. You got, some say that place, the Pope or whatever, they got a bunch of gold and shit. Where's that at again? UK or something? They say they got what's that thing called, the Vatican? They say they got a bunch of gold and shit under there that they could manipulate the markets with whenever they want. So yeah, the U.S. government could just get more gold, but they could get fucked by the rest of the world who are hiding it. You see what I'm saying? So the reason you want them to buy the Bitcoin as part of the treasury is so that if they had to, they could use it as their currency if needed, because the rest of the world's going to want it still. Unlike the US dollar. And perhaps unlike gold, if these other countries are hiding it and shit. I mean, it's easier for transactions. You know, gold, like I got some coins that are like an ounce. Those are worth $2,800 an ounce. You know, am I going to cut a little speck out of it to use it as currency? You know, you can't really trust the government to say, okay, well, give us the gold. We're going to give you paper notes on it. And that's how we'll devise it. Because look what happens then. They'll later be like, oh, yeah, let's just keep writing these notes and let's not make it back by the gold anymore. Fuck it. You don't get any gold. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's a good idea for the U.S. government to potentially buy some Bitcoin as part of their treasury. Because if they had to, they could transition, they could use it as a transitional method to get to a new currency, or at the least to have it in their citizens' pockets, so that, or in their banks or whatever you call it, their cold wallets, so that they could still use it as something of value for the rest of the world, that the rest of the world still wants. You see what I'm saying? It's how you allow for them to still be free to an extent, in that it's a currency that the rest of the world wants. And it's not just something that you made that you give to them and you say, this is what you get. And we don't give a shit if the rest of the world wants it or not. And we know what we've already did with your past one, the US dollar. Look what's happened to that. But that's why I've been buying some. All right. Now, I don't think that, I mean, yeah, there's a possibility that can happen. I don't think the US dollar is going to lose its place as a world reserve currency now that things have happened since November. You guys know what I mean? Where there might be a renaissance, in a sense, of demand for the US dollar because of a lot of things that are going to be going on, or that already have begun. But I mean, you never really know. But with that being said, if the dollar becomes more valuable, for one, I think, just like what happened with gold, people are going to start buying more things, and they're going to start diversifying because they're going to have the ability to diversify. You know, they noted, I mean, all the YouTube guys are saying, everybody knows that's what you do. I'm just saying, everybody's talking about it. So that's kind of what everybody's doing, you know? Just saying, oh, diversify. So what they do is, that's what's going to happen. If the US dollar gets strength, if we have more purchasing power with it, if more US citizens have the dollar in their bank accounts, they're saving more money, they're probably going to be investing more money. In which case, I think they're going to be diversifying it, and they're going to be buying some gold, probably more Bitcoin, and then some stocks and everything else. And I buy more stocks. That's just me, you know? I mean, Bitcoin, I want the Bitcoin to be like 5% of what I invest in, of my portfolio or whatever. But maybe 10%. But we'll see how it all goes. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm doing right now. And I don't really plan to change it. And yeah, $5 a day. And that's every day. No breaks on the weekends. It's every day, $5 a day. So what is that? $150 a month? Going to buy the highs, going to buy the lows. Going to see what happens, man. But let me know where you guys are at with that. Are you buying Bitcoin or anything? Or what's a good move right now? Let me know in the comments. I'll talk to you guys later. Like this video if you will. Subscribe to the page. Become a patron if you want to support the meditations. Links in the description below. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace be with you.